What's up, my dear friends of the world? Paul the Trombonist here, and in this video I'm going to share with you on how to use vibrato on the trombone. If you're new here, we were the first trombone channel on YouTube. We've been doing this for over a decade, well over a decade, and I've dedicated my life to the trombone. I'm a professional trombone player in Los Angeles. I love the trombone, everything about it. So let's get right to it. So how do we do some vibrato? Well, there's a lot of different types of vibrato, and vibrato really is what I've thought of is the last ingredient to your playing that really makes you sound like a refined musician. And you can really tell a refined musician by the type of vibrato they use. That's what I discovered. And what I discovered in my own development as a musician is that the vibrato was really the last piece of the puzzle to come together in my playing. And it's because we have to absorb a lot of music for it to come out naturally. And it needs to come out naturally, because if it doesn't come out naturally, it sounds very contrived and forced, and that's what makes vibrato sound corny, cheesy, not like a seasoned musician. It needs to sound real. And there's a lot of different ways we can do it. One of the things that I like to think about is just how you would normally sing, and the natural vibrato that would happen there is what should come out of the instrument. One thing that we like to do too is we like to use no vibrato on the instrument and get a good, nice, solid sound first, and then add the vibrato as icing on the cake. And I'll demonstrate. So let's just play with zero vibrato whatsoever. Okay? That's no vibrato. I tried to do no vibrato, okay? It's just... or something like that. And with vibrato, you want to make sure that you can do that first before you add the vibrato. And then what happens with the vibrato is you want to establish the pitch first so that the listener hears that that's the pitch. And once the pitch is established, then you can add a little bit of flavor or love to the note so it vibrates. So we can do this. Now, it's to taste. There are no rules here. It's not like vibrato is one way to do it. It's to taste. And how do we get to taste? Well, you need to listen to a lot of musicians so you understand what has been effective throughout history. See, we're in a really good position right now. We have about 100 years of recorded music. So you have an opportunity to listen on demand to the greatest musicians of the past 100 years. So if you want to know how to do vibrato, don't you think it would be a good idea to just listen to some of these recordings and see what they're doing with the vibrato, right? And when you do that, and the more listening you do to music, you start to internalize the vibrato and it starts to come out of your playing. And everyone's different, everyone has a different taste and a different voice. And you can exaggerate it, you can pull it back. Different songs and tunes and pieces of music can use different types of vibrato to convey different emotion and have a different effect on the listener. So there's no one size fits all, but let's just go over what I just did there so maybe you can incorporate it into your own playing. So I'm going... my throat is moving a little bit. It's kind of going like yaw. Yaw. It's kind of doing that. Yaw. Now you notice the second time I did that, it sounded completely different than the first time I did it. It's because it all depends on the environment, how I'm feeling, what needs to come out, because it's all fluid, just like talking. If I were to say the same sentence to you twice, it'd probably be a little different, right? The way you can practice this is to just think yaw, establish the pitch first, and then it starts to speed up ever so slightly, almost like the frequency of the yaw almost kind of compounds as it's established. So it goes, ah. You know what you can think of? You ever been in a situation where you skipped a stone on a lake and it starts off with bigger waves and then it starts to smaller waves? Or that visualization, I'm sure you've seen that before. That's how you can imagine vibrato. Now, the type of vibrato I just did right there is jaw vibrato, your best friend. And there's other types of vibrato too for the trombone. We also have slide vibrato, which is really cool because the slide can use it and not any other instruments can use it. So that's what's one of the cool things about the trombone is we can use the slide vibrato. Can't do a slide vibrato on a trumpet or else it wouldn't be called slide vibrato, right? So that's more like this. Now, that's the same rule. You establish the pitch first, and what we do is we go down first, and then we go up, and we go down, and you gotta have a relaxed wrist. And this is actually what I discovered. To pull this off effectively, it takes a little more time to get it right, and compared to the jaw vibrato. And it works best in the upper register. Tommy Dorsey, listen to Tommy Dorsey. Tommy Dorsey was the pioneer of the slide vibrato. Okay, it's a beautiful sound, love it. Other players you can listen to, Herbie Green, Dick Nash, Alan Kaplan, masters of slide vibrato. Now, what really I've discovered is the magical sweet spot of this is when you combine them both and you use a little combination of jaw and slide vibrato, and that's typically what I'll find myself doing the most is that combination. So a combination would be like, so if you see there, I was doing like mixing and matching kind of a thing. And that's typically how I'll do it. And it's really all based on feel. And the way this comes together is really 90% listening. So I can give you exercises here and there, and I have some in a book I wrote, Trombone Exercises Will Make You a Great Player. But really and truly, 90% of getting this together is listening. So you're going to want to listen to tons of great musicians, and you're going to internalize it, and it's just going to come right out of you. It really will. It's amazing. So hopefully you found that valuable. If you found that valuable, all I ask for is a subscribe. At the time of recording this, we're halfway to 100,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe, and I'm going to place that YouTube award as a token of our appreciation and our love of the trombone. It's for all of us. It's not for me. It's for all of us. And just to show that we built a nice little community of people that enjoy the trombone, and trombone gets the respect it deserves in this time period. This is Paul the Trombonist. I appreciate you so much, tremendously, and you take care.